Hey guys, very welcome back. In this video, we'll be learning about Europeans' arrival into India. Now, if we see the region of the Middle East, this was dominated now by the Muslims, and Muslims were not allowing or the trade, the land route of transfer of spices and cotton from the India to Europe. Vasco da Gama in May 1498 he set out an expedition all the way from Portugal to India. He ordered 3 ships to be constructed, so he had come with 3 ships, and when he went back from the Calicut, that is Kozhikode, he then sold all those spices all across the Europe. His profit was 60 times his voyage cost, right? The news spread like a wildfire all across the Europe, and there was now a competition to arrive in India and earn the same profits. So if we see the chronological order of arrival of Europeans, first were the Portuguese to arrive, second were the Danish, second were the Dutch, second were the Dutch, third were the British, the fourth were the Danish, and finally we had the French. So this was the trend, this was the chronological order. Portuguese, Dutch, British, Danish and French. These people established the trading centers on the coastal towns, since they employed the factors, which are now called the clerks. These trading centers were known as the factories, and these were not the manufacturing units, actually these were the godowns. Now let's see some of the British and French trading centers or factories. Now Britishers' first factory was established in Masulipatam, that is Machilipatnam, in 1611. Their first factory to established on the western coast of India was in Surat. Their first factory to be established in the eastern coast of India was in Balasore, which is something here, in Odisha, above Bhadrak, here. Alright. Now, British had also established some of the very important forts, and they had fortified it, hence it was called fort. For example, Fort St. George in Madras, in Bombay, that is roughly in 1639. In Bombay, they also established one of the fort, and in Calcutta, very important, they established Fort Williams. 1698. Now, French were also not behind. They established at Surat their factory. French established their factory, was one of the most important center was Pondicherry, and they established the factory Chandan Nagar in West Bengal. It's on the bank of Hooghly River above Calcutta. So this is Calcutta, above it we have the Chandan Nagar here. Alright. Now if we see the Europeans, they were competitors. Europeans were competitors, and the only way to maximize the profit was to monopolize the trade, not let the part of trade go to some other person. Now, since they need to monopolize the trade, they had to fight a war so that other person can be outdone. Seeing the war was inevitable, the Austrian succession in Europe led to First Carnatic War in India from 1746 to 48. The growing tension in India led to Second Carnatic War from 49 to 54, and the 7 Years' War in Europe that was from 1756 to 63 led to Third Carnatic War in India, where in the Battle of Vendevache the French were washed away. This Third Carnatic War ended with the Treaty of Paris in 1763, where French were given back the Pondicherry and the Chandarnagar in Bengal and were allowed to trade but not allowed to administer. So British forces now it was clear for them, right, to rule the country. If we see contemporarily what was happening on India, 1707 we know that Aurangzeb died and he was the last powerful Mughal ruler. In 1707 his son Bahadur Shah I was already 65 years old, and in 1712 he also passed away. From 1713 to 1719 came the Farrukhsiyar, and Farrukhsiyar gave the following orders. First of all, he passed a royal diktat, a farman in 1717, where the British were given the passes to cross any Mughal territory, which was known as Dastak. They had a free trade privilege only on the company side, not on the personal trade. They had to pay customs. The only thing they had to do as a company was to only pay rupees 3,000 per year to Mughals, and no custom duty as far as company's trade is concerned need to be paid by the British. In 1720, seeing the Mughal Empire growing weak and weak, 3 Subedars. Do you know what is Subedar? Subedar is law and order, and Diwan is the person responsible for land revenue. So 3 Subedars of Suba, Awadh Suba, Bengal Suba and Hyderabad Suba, respectively Sadat Khan, Murshid Quli Khan for Bengal and Hyderabad for Nizamul Mulk. These asserted that they are independent. Okay. Muhammad Shah Rangila was the contemporary Mughal Empire up till 1748, when these Subedars and these Subas, they proclaimed independence from the Mughal rule. Okay. Next video we'll see how British occupied the Bengal. Okay, and it did set for the complete occupation of India. So that's all. Thank you.